for you. Did you have an apartment in the 80s? Was the floor parquet? Okay, we are looking at yellow wood if you're thinking of parquet. Well, parquet is now actually being revisited as a great flooring option in most decor styles. We're going to talk about it right now with our designer, Arren Williams.
You look beautiful and peachy, so on trend, so on trend.
Thank you. You know, it's spring and almost summer and all of that.
I almost wore shorts today.
Right? We're very close to that.
Yeah.
So let's talk about parquet, because there's sort of this reimagining of parquet happening. Most people have this vision of parquet, like we had at our first house.
I think it's one pattern only.
Yes. Well, we thought it's one pattern only, and we thought, oh no, what are we going to do about this? Because it was a look that we didn't love. We have a picture of it right now to show you what parquet looks like, and you will recognize it. Or what people think parquet looks like.
And if you have a house from the 80s in a subdivision, or if you have a condo, even if you were in high school, like this was used throughout institutions as well.
Yes.
And the reason it was used in these places is, number one, it is incredibly durable.
Okay.
So it lasts a lifetime, but it was also very well priced as well. So
yeah,
it's affordable.
It's inexpensive.
It's an affordable choice.
It is.
But it fell out of fashion. But what I wanted to tell you is it actually started in fashion way before that.
Okay.
In the 16th century.
Whoa,
That's the court of Versailles. So Versailles is one of the first places where parquet was used.
Okay.
And the reason is, when you're building a house the size of a town, you literally can't afford to put stone necessarily everywhere.
Yes.
So the idea with parquet was that it was mimicking the patterns of stone marquetry flooring, but in wood. And that also meant that on second floors, you could still have a very glamorous looking pattern.
Yes.
But it was light enough so the whole house didn't collapse, or mansion, or castle, or what have you. So that's really where it came from. So it's been around for a very long time.
Okay.
And I think, like we're saying, it really should be reconsidered, because it is a great solution.
Well, now I feel all classy having had parquet floors at my first house.
In
Versailles.
You and Louis Couture something or other. Seriously.
That's fabulous.
So the 5-bar pattern is this one, and this is the one that people are probably the most recognizable to them.
Yes.
So it is the color of golden toast, I think, or golden syrup, or it's just not the nicest color for most people these days. But there are lots of different things that you can do to this now to make it look a lot more updated. So let's look at a fresher take on this, and then we'll talk about your experience with this too. So this pattern over here is again the 5-bar, but it's in a much richer stain, and you really get to see the grain in there too.
That's nice.
How fantastic is that?
That is amazing. We did the same thing at our first house. So it looked like this, and we weren't loving that golden look. It just sort of screamed, and we went dark ebony. Yeah. And then it changes the whole thing. And you know, it almost doesn't matter what the material is on the ground. When you go with that really dark, high contrast color with everything else in the house, it looks kind of classy.
Now, the great thing about parquet too, it is the affordability as well, depending on the pattern that you pick, but also the fact that it can be repeatedly refinished as well.
Oh, nice.
So you're able to sand it and restain it. It also takes paint very well, because it's oak. It has lots of grain in it, so you get that very much New York loft, artist loft look with it as well.
Absolutely. Okay, but there are other types of parquet.
There are other types of parquet. So let's talk about one of my favorites, which is this one.
Yes.
So we're looking at herringbone patterns here. So herringbone parquet, why not? It is still a parquet, and parquet these days basically means a pattern that's made in the same way that mosaic tiles are made. So if you imagine mosaic tiles, when you buy them, they have a mesh backing on them, and you basically lay them down, and then you grout and finish them. With this, it comes unfinished with that mesh backing on. You lay it down, it gets glued down, and then cut to fit the edges and everything, and you literally sand and stain in place.
You know, that is the way, herringbone is the way to make anything look elevated.
Seriously.
It can be felt, it can be elastic bands. It doesn't matter. Do it in herringbone and it looks elevated.
And it is, literally, this is the thing. If you want to feel Paris apartment, this is the way to go. So that, and also, if you want to upgrade the architectural style in a house, these parquet patterns really will do that for you as well. They really will do that in spades.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I love that. And I've never seen parquet like that.
So parquet, herringbone, fantastic. So just think about those Paris apartments. This is another favorite of mine.
Yeah.
So this pattern,
lovely.
almost if you look at it as a 4 square, which is what we're looking at right here, you can see almost a star pattern in this. So this one, it really makes me think of very much a Downton Abbey look. And this pattern here, because it has that crisscross in it, when you actually do lay it down, you end up with a larger design than the original design itself.
Okay. Now, are you paying more for an installation like this? So since you're using a material that is a little more inexpensive, are you paying a little bit more in the installation?
It does, depending on the pattern you choose. You will end up, the initial cost, depending on the pattern, will start out around 30% less.
Okay.
And the other great thing about this as a material is that there's very little waste in it too, so it's really ecological as well. It's all oak, as I said, so red oak is mostly the substrate that's used. It's all made in North America. It's actually forested here as well. So you really are getting like a ditch-to-ditch product, which is really great.
Lovely.
So I want to show you this gray finish here because I think this one is stunning.
That's nice.
And this actually reminds me very much of English pubs.
Yes.
So if you go to an English pub and it's got those lovely worn floors, but they're kind of rich and dark,
lovely.
This really is that one.
Oh, you're making me thirsty. English pub.
Well, we're going to have a drink later. We're going to have a drink later.
Very
and then finally, this pattern I wanted to show you. Again, you're seeing the 5-bar centered here with the kind of a pattern around the outside, which again elevates that traditional parquet and really makes it something special. And we're actually going to do something different with this in a later segment.
Are you going to leave it this color?
No, I would not. I would not ever leave it that color.
So is this? So I mean, is the issue about parquet really just the color? I mean, is that
it really is the color, and I think it's our perception that it is inexpensive and it's tied to possibly bad memories from a decor perspective. But all you need to do is sand it down, have some fun with it.